Knock knock.
Who's there?
Owls.
Owls who?
Yes, they do.
Uh,
We don't have it yet.
What up, everybody? We're back with another week of We Don't Have It Yet. I think from the notes I'm looking at, we got a pretty entertaining show today. I've been watching stuff. Wyatt's about to go do something extremely interesting in the woods. I played some pinball, a shuttle launched in the sky, new TV shows that we're interested in, and we'll always be back with Backlog Bruster Brothers and some new assignments. Mr. Wyatt, how are you? What is up?
I got a pretty bad headache, so
Mm.
this is going to be a fun episode.
Who did what to you?
I think I probably slept wrong.
Mm.
I'm at that age now.
It's not just like knowing that you had to sit down and talk to me.
I mean, that's like a dull headache. This is more of
That's
a sharp
all
headache.
the time. This is a sharp pain.
Yeah.
Got it.
But no, I mean, things are all right. As of right now, it's nice and sunny out, but as I told you right before we started recording, we're supposed to get about 3 inches of snow tomorrow, and I really just want to be done with winter.
Yeah, I'm definitely sick of the 70-degree day followed by a 30-degree day kind of thing. And we've done the spring is here to, hey, it's snowing 3 times now, and I'm done. Everything is green outside. Stuff is budding. I need it to be spring now.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's coming, but I remember years growing up where we would get one last like heavy snow in the beginning of May. So I know that I may not even be close to out of the woods yet.
Lame. But
So
you're
what have
speaking of in no. You said speaking of in the woods.
See, I was kind of hoping you would pick that up and go with it, but I wasn't sure if you were going to.
So
I'm so
you might
proud of
die
you.
tonight, is what you've written here on the show notes. Would you care to explain that to everyone?
No.
Oh no. Okay. All right. So that's it. Everybody, wish your best to Wyatt. This is his last episode.
No. So, buddy Jeremy, one of the guys who actually runs the pinball club, he's involved in the search and rescue operations in New Hampshire. He's one of the, I guess, trainers, maybe you would call him, supervisors. I'm not actually sure. If he ends up listening to this episode, he can correct me and tell me how wrong I am.
Whoa.
But you're going to probably see that Nick's going to be dropping a lot more new drops than you've heard before.
Drops.
He's been having fun.
I have toys.
So yeah, he runs the search and rescue operations to New Hampshire, and tonight they are doing an assessment for a new search and rescue dog and a handler, and he was looking for volunteers to go wander out into the woods after dark tonight and see if the dog can find me. So
neat.
Yeah, so I'm going to go wander off into the woods of central New Hampshire in a contained search area, at least.
I was
so
going to say, do they allow you to
off.
have a GPS device, or you'd have to trust the dog and that's it?
Jeremy's going to know where I am because he's assessing it. So he's going to walk out with wherever I go and then come back. So, if something does hit the fan, don't panic and run away because, he'll be able to find me.
Do you get to bring like a handheld or anything? It's going to be boring out
I'm
there.
supposed to make as little noise as I can. I will probably have something with me with a little bit of low light. He just said, the main thing is if you hear the dog or, the people to stop making any noise because we don't want to, we want the dog to be able to find us, not being able to hear noises and then being like, oh yeah, they're right over there. So it's my way of seeing that I might be able to have a couple hours of technology detox out in the woods. So as long as I don't get eaten by a bear, then should be a good night.
That's solid. Yeah. That's a good plan. No, do you have to provide like a pair of underwear for the dog to sniff or anything? Or
It's a weird article of clothing for you to choose, but I don't.
excuse me, as a dog owner, I happen to know where the scents are strongest because he only sniffs my butt and my crotch most of the
Well,
time.
that's Bo is a good boy. No, I actually don't know. I assume there's going to be some article of clothing or something. I'm meeting up with him about a half an hour before the search is supposed to start so we can go over some of the other stuff. I imagine there's got to be some type of scent involved, but I mean, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I will have more on this the next time that we record because
Yeah, I have
as
no
long as
idea
I
how
don't
this works.
die, I'll be
Right.
able to explain how it went. Maybe I'll very quietly record 2 hours worth of pitch black video on my phone, and we can we can
Oh,
play
if you
that
want
on
to
the show
record
next
like
week.
your own version of the
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Wyatt Witch Project, but that works too.
Yeah, we'll
No, that'll
see.
be interesting, man. It's gonna be cold though.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I'm bringing a sleeping bag with me and a bunch of other stuff. I doubt I'm going to need it, but I'd rather be able to bundle up and be warmer than freezing.
Mm.
But yeah, that's about all I got going on. I hear that you've really been getting on your movie horse, or I guess TV horse. You've been watching a lot of stuff lately.
Am I ever not? I mean, I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
guess that's fair. It seems like sometimes you're watching more stuff
Oh,
than
like Friday
other
and
times.
Saturdays after the kid goes down, we usually at least knock out one movie. So it's fair to say I've watched one new thing a week usually. And then Sunday nights try and do like a TV show. We just wrapped up the second season of Fallout, so I was looking for something to watch last night, which kicked me on to Born to Bowl, a new HBO documentary series from HBO Sports, complete with Liev Schreiber narration. Um, Fascinating docuseries. It's the day-to-day goings-on of the PBA, the Professional Bowlers Association, and all the things you never thought about or maybe even wanted to know about in that world. But it's a grind, man. Professional bowling is a grind.
Yeah, I don't think it's as cushy as other professional organizations when it
Definitely.
comes to
Well, you wouldn't
sports.
expect it to be. You don't expect like the salaries and the paydays to be at that level, but at the same time, it kind of sucks. I'm assuming you haven't. I don't know if you've seen or heard of any of this thus
I
far.
believe John from Extra Napkins, our
Right.
buddy, was talking about it, but I haven't seen any of it myself yet. No.
Yeah, so it follows several tour figures. It's like the established guy, the new up and coming rookie, and then the main guy. It seems at least the first episode centrals around is the pro with a fro.
Ah,
Who
yes, I was going to
anyone?
ask if he was going to be part of it. I have no idea what his
Yeah,
name is, but I know the guy.
if you've watched anything about professional bowling in the last several years, you've probably seen this guy. And his name is, of course, escaping me the second I have to talk about it. Kyle Troop is his
I thought
name.
it was Bowling Bob Ross.
Uh, yeah, he is referred to that in the first episode of the show. And the pro with the fro and the Bob Ross of bowling. He is actually the son of a pro bowler, so he's a legacy. So
Second
I guess
gen.
that's kind of his role in the show. And man, it's interesting. So the season of professional bowling is a 4-month tour. The U.S. Open of bowling is about a 90-minute drive here from me in Illinois, actually. And the part I found fascinating was that these guys have to drive all over the country because, well, each one of them is carrying like 12 bowling balls. So they can't exactly fly between tournaments without spending thousands and thousands of dollars on baggage fees. So it's just left to them to just haul all this crap all over the country on their own dime. And the PBA does not pay you one single cent unless you win the giant check from the event.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
It,
wow, I didn't
it's a
realize
grind.
that.
And like these dudes they're shacking up together on the tour because obviously they're all on the same tour, all going to the same events in the same cities. So they might be competing against each other, but they're also sharing a house and bunk beds and
I was going
stuff
to
and
say
doing
there must
anything they
be at
can.
least some sort of camaraderie there.
There is, but of course, there's, I think, big personalities all over,
Yeah.
and big, big personalities, and perhaps small men. I'm still learning about who's who as far as heroes and villains, but it's fascinating, man. It's good sports drama, and like I said when we were talking about, the baseball movies that we watched last week, I think a good documentary can be about any subject matter,
Oh,
if it's
absolutely.
done well. It doesn't have to be something you yourself are interested in, but it helps when you are. And I do love me some bowling. When I was in my early 20s working in the bar industry, Monday nights were usually the night we all either had off or got off early, and we would meet and go bowling. And I did that for a couple of years there. So I have a lot of fond memories. And the biggest thing that is weird to me now is that there are pros throwing with the two-handed method.
Yeah, it's so weird to me.
And it actually goes into it a little bit with Kyle Troop that his dad was a pro bowler, so obviously he grew up on the lanes. And when he was a little kid, he would still gravitate to his dad's 15-pound bowling ball. And obviously,
Hmm.
the only way he could manage to get it down the lane was to throw it with two hands.
Yeah.
And that's how he developed that style. And I don't know where along the line that like became a thing, but it seems to be like the preferred method versus the wide one-handed shot that you saw for years and years and years and years.
So is
I have to
he
try it.
credited to be the one that has started this style, or is it just
No,
coincidental?
I don't know if it's coincidental or if people watched him doing it and started emulating it and trying it. I don't know. They haven't touched on that yet, but I want to try it now.
I I don't know. We went bowling during a really rad weekend last year, and I
Yeah,
think there was
we
one
all
person
sucked.
there that I saw that was bowling with two hands, and even just what like I can't bowl with one hand, so I might as well try and bowl with two hands. But
Hmm.
logistically, I can't figure it out. I'm sure, obviously, if I just walked up and started trying it, maybe I'd be able to figure it out. But it
Well,
just seems
yeah,
weird.
traditionally you got your say your right dominant hand fingering the ball, and then your non-dominant hand underneath the ball, and then as you came back, you only extended with that one hand or one
Yeah,
arm, have you? And so
I
now it's
guess
kind
yeah.
of you're cradling it the whole way, and then still
You just
using
like
the
you get a
dominant
lot
hand
more
to drive it.
spin, right?
Presumably, you would have a lot more control over the spin, but I don't know. I have to try it out now. I'm fascinated.
Well,
It was one. That's one of those things where it's like if I had done that a couple of years ago, I would feel like everybody was laughing at me. But now it's what the
yeah.
pros
Now
are
everyone does
doing,
it.
kind of thing. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. I don't know if it's like a weird Happy Gilmore swing in golf or something like that, or a John Daly swing,
I was
perhaps.
gonna
I don't
say a
know.
John Daly grip it and rip it.
Yeah, but I
So
am
I
so excited to keep watching this show. You have to watch it.
I assume probably only the first episode's out, or are there a few episodes out now?
I think three are out. I only just watched the first last night, but they start at the U.S. Open, so it's actually starting at the biggest event. And I don't know if we'll come full circle, over the course of a year and see that, or if we're just starting there. But it's kind of a cool way to open up, and then we're on to the Pete Weber Classic, I believe, next, which I'm quite excited about. If anybody's not familiar with who Pete Weber is, he's famously the guy that said, "Who do you think you are? I am," when he won a big tournament. And he was the bad boy of bowling, the original bad boy of bowling, I think they
The
call it now, which is a
the
hilarious thing to be.
the famous character that Tim Robinson played in a mockumentary,
Oh,
his
really?
version. Yeah, you haven't seen that? I'll have
No,
to.
God, there's a Tim Robinson thing that I don't even know about.
I mean, it's only like 10 minutes long. I think it was like a. Remember Documentary Now? Did you ever watch any
Oh,
of
yeah,
those with
yeah.
Bill? Yeah,
Or like, single clips of it, kind of
yeah.
thing.
I believe it's a Documentary Now short. It's only like 10 minutes long or so, maybe, but it's really funny. Tim Robinson playing the bad boy of bowling, and
Yeah, I would like
yeah,
to watch that very much. I could see, like, yeah, Pete Weber is like the exact type of character that Tim Robinson can sink his teeth into completely. Like,
yeah. He absolutely did.
views himself as something of a badass, even though everyone can see that that's completely ridiculous and has no real self-awareness, but likes being really loud and obnoxious. And yeah. Ah,
I got hit with some dumb video on YouTube recently. Ironically enough, about bowling, which is weird because I don't really watch any bowling videos. But it was a small bowling alley in Youngstown, Ohio. That you know how there's the trend of businesses that will take like a mean comment that someone says about them and then just turn it into a video to kind of lean into it and have
oh
fun with
yeah,
it.
or if like the
Yeah,
pizza
so
place puts like the ridiculous Yelp review across the front window kind of thing.
yeah. So this was a bowling alley out in Youngstown, Ohio. I think it's called the West Side Bowl. And someone was saying like, your lanes are super crappy. And this woman it just shows her like sitting at the bar. I'm presumably the owner of the place, talking about, how the lanes won't be as crappy if you're enjoying their, nice beer and pizza and blah, 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 blah. But the funny thing that I saw, and I was like, oh man, maybe Nick and I can come out here. Uh, it's $10 for all you can bowl. You, like you could literally pay $10 and bowl for 12 hours if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Um,
in Youngstown.
yeah. So I'm saying it's about 9 hours for me and 7 hours for you. So I think we need to meet in the middle here and have a we don't have it yet bowl-a-thon.
Yeah, why don't you just come to me and I'll tell you what, I'll pick up the games, or you can give me $10 and I'll just let you bowl all you want. I want
Come
you to
on, you don't
feel
want to
good
go to
about
the West Side
yourself.
Bowl in Youngstown, Ohio?
I'm okay.
Right next to the Lucky Food drive-through.
What are you gonna do?
You can't blame me for trying.
I'm looking for good drops, but they all
Think of the content, Nick.
quite profane. I'm sorry.
The we don't have it yet road trip. You coming from Illinois, me coming from New Hampshire. On the road, we can record.
I think generally those types of road trips are supposed to be done together and
No,
recording, not driving
no,
separately.
no. We do travel journals ourselves. Then we record when we're there.
Ah, and
Yeah,
then we see if they line up.
right.
Where
Yeah,
I'm
think about
like
it.
spend 7 hours driving and being like, I can't believe Wyatt's got me driving to Youngstown, Ohio for.
For $10.
Oh boy,
Can't blame me for trying.
nah.
But
No.
anyway, so I believe you also watched a new movie this weekend.
Mm. Yeah, I thought about assigning this one to you. I actually watched a few movies. Usually I said that we get a Nick and Mrs. movie in, and then there's a family movie at some point too. But I watched a new flick called Mike and Nick and Alice. And believe it or not, did not only watch it just because of my name comes up in the title twice. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is
why I figured you watched it.
it didn't hurt. This is a brand new flick, and it was on Hulu. Uh, so this is James Marsden and Vince Vaughn playing a dual role. And is it Isa Gonzalez? Isa
Yeah, I
Gonzalez?
think it's
I'm
Isaac
terribly
Gonzalez.
sorry. Um, and our boy, who's in absolutely everything, apparently, Keith David. Just
Good for him.
yeah, that's the way I look at it, and it's funny because I watch so many cartoons that he's in. That dude does more voice acting than Mark Hamill. I swear to God, he is in everything.
He's a very prolific voice actor.
Yeah. So he's in it. He's great as per usual. Stephen Root pops up, does a little cameo. He's wonderful. He-Man himself, Dolph Lundgren, pops up. Ben Schwartz, Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog, is in this. Um, and Arturo Castro, who I recognize, but I can't place where I exactly know him from. He plays a character named Dumbass Tony. Just gives
Yeah,
you what
pretty sure he was in. Oh gosh, I think he was in Ted Lasso.
Maybe that's what it is. I couldn't place it. But basically, this movie it surprised me a little bit. So 15 minutes in, I thought I was in another Palm Springs Groundhog Day, everybody's favorite new genre to play in time loop movie. Uh, but it turns out this is actually just a time travel movie. So there's
Oh.
that. Um, Basically, the main character is James Marsden, who plays a guy named Quick Draw Mike, and he's a mob enforcer for the boss, Nick, played by Vince Vaughn. But one evening, uh, he's visited by his boss, who then tells him to go to. He's visited by Vince Vaughn, who gets in the car and takes him to his own house and says, "Here's a bottle of chloroform and a rag, and there's going to be someone answering the door. No matter how freaked out you might be by it, I need you to chloroform this guy," who ends up also being Vince Vaughn. This is where the time travel bit kind of folds in, and I won't go too much further from there. But needless to say, they have to stop something that occurs in the future that changes all of time. Uh,
It was like Terminator.
very, yeah, yeah. It's a comedy. I should mention that.
Like Terminator.
Um, like Terminator. But it's I had a couple things that really were kind of weird in this movie. First of all, let me just say that I can't place if it's my age and the fact that I'm being demogra- demographically targeted. But everything in this movie seemed marketed to me, or just really wanting to go to 90s nostalgia places. I'm not really sure. Um, Maybe the directors are coming of age, and thus this is what they think is awesome, and it's the same stuff that I do. I'm not really sure, but this movie is dripping in it. Uh, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I am actively listening to you.
So there's kind of one of the bad guys who's a comedic heavy, named Jimmy Boy, has a full back tattoo piece that says "It's all in the reflexes," which we know to be from Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it actually says that below the tattoo, which is pretty hilarious. It says "It's all in the reflexes," and then there's like a little mini tattoo below it that says "From Big Trouble in Little China." The movie opens with Ben Schwartz, John Ralphio singing the Billy Joel song "Why Should I Worry" from the Disney feature Oliver and Company. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a '90s kid, you should probably be pretty familiar with that one. The action set pieces throughout the movie are all like highly, highly stylized John Wick type gunplay and fight, and it doesn't really fit, or at least it wouldn't if it weren't for some of the soundtrack choices. So like one of the major gunfights is set to Andrew WK's "She Is Beautiful." I think at that point I was like, okay, yeah, they're just going straight for me. And at one point, there's actually an Oasis sing along in the movie to "Don't Look Back in Anger." So, like I'm saying, it's very, very, hey, you get all these references because you grew up in the '90s, uh, which is weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, we are living in that age now. We're not 20 years old and seeing directors in their 40s and 50s making things. We are of the age that we've got these people that have been coming up in, Hollywood, I guess, and they're now making their movies. So we are
Yeah.
the adult target audience at this point. It's
Well,
depressing to
that was
think,
kind of my
but
question is it because I'm that age demographic that's being targeted, or is it because, directors are now my age? And it looks to definitely be both. I think the director looks to be right in our same age group looking at him.
yeah, I think you had mentioned
But
it to me earlier this week, and I looked the guy up, and I think he's your age, so
mm,
maybe a couple years younger.
oh, there you go. But on to the movie. Quite hilarious, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought throughout it was going to be like streaming schlock, and it's not. There's actually a really smart, funny script here, and Vince Vaughn kind of dials down a lot of the over the top Vince Vaughnness, but is still very amusing and funny. I'm not sure where it really lands. Like I said, it really goes hard in the violence department too. But I mean, I had fun throughout. If I had a complaint, It's that I could tell this is a streaming movie, and I don't know how to
I was
better
just say,
put that
what do
into
you
words.
mean by that?
It's so hard. So there's just, I don't know if it's the way it's shot or if it's edited or color grading or just small things that stack up that I don't really notice. Uh, but there's just something to it. Like, you know that this is a streaming movie made for streaming. Um, it bothers me. Think about something like I can't remember what it was called. Was it Red Notice? Um,
Oh God,
with like The
Red
Rock and
Red
Ryan
One,
Reynolds
maybe?
and Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Um, Something like that, where you have like huge stars, huge budget, huge everything, but you can just have that feeling that this was never intended to be in a movie theater and it's playing differently than it would. Does that make any sense?
M- I'm gonna say maybe. I'll have to watch this with that in mind and see if I can pick up what you mean and maybe be able to explain it more.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have I understand what you're saying, but I don't in the same.
It's it's
Which
it's
is more confusing than what you said, I guess.
I think if this had gone through a traditional studio system, the finished product would feel differently. That's not to
Okay,
say
so
it's
it doesn't feel like a big budget
it just
movie.
feels like, even though I'm enjoying this and it's good and I can't fault it, it feels like, I don't know, this was made in a hurry or something like that. Um Maybe that's the best way I can describe it. But I just feel like there's a feeling. And if I think left to his own devices without cooks in the kitchen that say you need to check X, Y, and Z to meet our contract terms for being a Hulu movie for distribution, it would be a slightly different movie. And maybe it goes back to reading that quote from Matt Damon that we talked about a couple weeks ago, that Netflix insists on
God, mentioning the plot of the movie
that you
every
have to that
5 minutes.
make, yeah, in order for it to be a Netflix movie, you have to have these script adjustments that aid the audience with exposition in the dialogue, because chances are they might be staring at their phone, so they have to listen and be reminded why these characters are in this situation. I think that there's subtle little bits like that where I'm like, well, that was weird. So I'll assign this to you as backup homework, and hopefully hear if you're able to pick up on any of it. But on the whole, funny, violent, good hard R comedy. I'd recommend it for everybody out there who just wants something stupid on a Friday night. It was a good movie. Mike and Nick and Alice. Check it out.
By the director and writer Ben David Grabinski.
Yeah, I don't have him in front of me anymore, but what else has he done? Anything of
Uh,
note?
One thing that I think is quite of note that I didn't realize was a thing, and now I'm also going to have to watch it, is he was a writer and creator of the Are You Afraid of the Dark remake that I had no idea was a thing.
From Snick?
Yeah.
They remade that show?
From 2019 to 2022, there were 14 episodes, and he was one of the creators.
I'll be damned. Well, I have to go find that, don't I? Oh, he
Yeah.
was a writer on the Scott Pilgrim series too. That's interesting.
Yep. Yep.
Not
So
really
yeah,
sure how much writing was needed to be done there if it was following the same story, but what are you gonna do?
he's done some. I think those are the only few things that I recognize him from. Well, he's only been involved in 6 things as a writer, 3 things as a producer, and 4 things as a director. And really, so
Yeah,
Scott Pilgrim
pretty
and Are You Afraid of the Dark would be the only things really that you would recognize.
pretty meteoric rise there though. And if I'm saying is this being marketed towards me because of my age, if he's involved with the Are You Afraid of the Dark and Scott Pilgrim franchises, I think it's fair to say he's firmly in my age
Yeah,
bracket.
yeah, that's. I think I saw the previews for this somewhere, and I was like, oh yeah, this might be something that I'd watch. But it's nice to see that I've got someone that has already watched it and given it a pretty hearty recommendation. So
Yeah, it was one of those things I knew nothing about, went in, based on poster alone, and probably came out pleasantly surprised. It was better than I might have expected. So, yeah, thumbs up.
hell yeah.
And I'm looking down here at our notes, and I don't have a good transition, but you did something pretty neat last week. Well, everybody's excited right now that we are going back to the moon.
Are we going to hard
Uh,
launch this segment?
yeah, you can hard launch it.
Yeah. So
You went to a
as
launch party.
yeah, about everyone in the world knows, NASA launched the Artemis II shuttle last Tuesday. When the heck was it? Oh gosh, I
Sounds
can't
right.
remember.
Yeah, what are you
Tu-
gonna
yeah, at some point. Yeah. Recently they launched
do?
the. Wow, you'd think I would have remembered this already. But yeah, so NASA obviously launched the Artemis II. It's supposed to be going the first trip to the moon that the US has done in 50 years. Obviously, they're not touching down. They're going to be flying around the moon and coming back,
Yeah,
testing,
yeah, orbiting the moon.
yeah, testing
Yeah.
the capabilities of the things they have to see if it's going to be viable to possibly land on the moon with the next mission, which would be cool. But the local planetarium, the Krista McAuliffe Planetarium, was hosting a launch party. They had, oh gosh, it was Wednesday. I remembered now. Yeah, it was April 1st, April Fool's Day, because I remember thinking, man, this would be a really funny prank. But yeah, so the local planetarium was hosting a party for whoever wanted to go. You just basically needed to tell them you were going to come. They
Just
had a
RSVP.
Yeah, pretty much. They had two, it was airing in two different places. They had a giant conference room downstairs with a large projector, and then they had their digital wall up on the second floor that was also playing it. And they were basically playing the same exact thing that anyone else that was watching it was watching. They were watching it was either the actual NASA feed. It was a YouTube feed. I think NASA may have had their own feed, and it was just streaming that in. The cool thing about that was the planetarium itself also had, I wish I could remember his name. I apologize that I cannot, but a retired astronaut who was zoomed into the planetarium, and he was kind of talking to everyone about, like, this is what's going on. This is what, the astronauts are doing, as we're counting down and we're doing this. And then he was
Oh, so you had
taking,
like a live narration of like
yeah,
what they might be going through at that particular moment.
yeah, so like if the commentators on the stream are like, "Oh no, this is going on, blah 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 blah," he would then be like, "Yeah, so this is what usually happens, etc., etc." He'd start explaining things. This is what they'd be doing in this case. This is what they're probably thinking about right now, and it was just really cool to. I believe this gentleman had 8 space flights under his belt before he had retired.
Oof, that's crazy.
Yeah, he did say when the shuttle launched and they took off, he's like, they are probably extremely happy that I am not on that flight with them, because in my 8 launches that I did, he said only one of them launched the first time it was supposed to go up. He was like, like, if I was on a mission, it was almost a given that we were not going to launch on the first day that it was supposed to.
Jeez, what are you, drunk?
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. There was a whole lot of people there. Everyone, from small children to people probably in their 80s. Like, space is cool. I don't care. Like, I don't know. I saw some online, because you're going to see anything online, some naysaying about this is a waste of money. We shouldn't be doing this. Who cares about the moon? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And while yes, there's plenty of stuff that we need to be doing here on Earth, like there's something to be said about giving people wonder back, I guess. Like
Mm-hmm.
I bet the launch
Hope,
has been, or
wonder,
the mission,
things like that.
yeah, the mission has been going well so far. And if this continues to go well, and we have the third launch and everything, and that mission goes well, I think you're going to see a lot more kids again dressing up as astronauts. You're going to hear young kids saying they want to be astronauts. Like, I don't know, I was blown away with just the entirety of it. Just seeing all of these people come together, seeing all the people with the launch and everything. It was a really awesome experience, and I was excited that I was able to take it in with so many other people. That being said,
Oh.
from the vantage point that we were standing, neither Caitlin nor I are exactly gifted when it comes to height. So,
You couldn't see the launch?
I mean, no, we saw the launch, which was perfectly fine. The issue was, I'd say 35% of the people around us holding their phones up over their heads and recording a screen of a YouTube video of the launch happening. So there, like I would give you a pass if you were down on Cape Canaveral and you wanted to, record this historic event. If you're
Yeah.
actually watching the event and just holding your phone, not watching through your phone. But these people at the planetarium were literally holding their phones, you can't see me obviously, but holding their phones in two hands above their heads and then looking up at what they're recording through the phone of a screen of a YouTube video of something happening in Florida. And yeah, and it was so frustrating. Like,
I
you're
can't
never going to
understand
watch
that.
this video. You're
It's
never
not
going to watch it.
I think that there's a split. There's, I think, the older contingent who they're like, I must document this because it'll go in our family photo album to look back on years from now, even though it'll be forgotten forever in 5 minutes and no one will ever look at it. But then there's the younger contingent it's all about look at me and where I am and what I'm doing
But
and
here's the
how
thing.
important I am.
Sure, go ahead and do that, but nobody's going to give a shit about a video that you're not in, that you
Yeah.
were filming over the top of people's heads
Yeah.
of a screen. I took a few pictures while we were there. What did I take pictures of? The crowd, the event going on. Like, that is a totally different thing as opposed to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 launch countdown, and you've completely taken yourself out of the moment to watch through a 6-inch screen.
Yep.
Like,
Or
yes,
you're
this is
even better, you're live streaming your live stream of the live event that has the live stream.
yeah. See, this is like, it's a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat that doesn't need to be.
Well, it's like it's more
And
of a boiled down, refined narcissism that we've developed in this society.
it's true. I mean, I'm not going to say that, I probably use my phone and use technology more than I should. I freely admit that. But when I'm in certain like situations like that, I know you've talked about going to concerts where they have policies where you need to put your phone in a bag. Like, I am 100% all for that. If I'm
Yeah,
paying
there's
hundreds of dollars for something, I want to enjoy the event.
there's a growing, I think, movement, especially with live music shows, where it's you get the lock bag for your phone, and it goes in at the start of the show, and it unlocks at the end of the show, and you don't lose physical, possession of your cell phone. People would riot if you did that, but you can't access it. And that's a good compromise to me. Like, God forbid you just give over and enjoy this thing that you're paying money to see and
Yeah.
actually get to experience something. Instead of, you watched the entire thing on YouTube before you went, so you know that on song 3 he moves stage right and the little pyrotechnic's going to go off there, so I know exactly what's coming. And now when I go to the show, I'll just live stream myself in front of the stage and be talking to my audience. And who gives a shit about anybody around me that I'm bothering? That just drives me nuts. I remember years ago, before there was even really like live streaming, I went to a stereophonic show at the 930 Club, and this chick had a fucking iPad. Not taking pictures with your phone. She held up a full-size iPad and was recording this thing in a club show with a flat floor, mind you. If memory serves, that didn't last for very long, as people said, what the hell? But these days, I'm not sure anybody would bat their eyes.
No, it is like, I'm going to have to, I should have sent it to you before we recorded, but I had said, I believe on Blue Sky or somewhere that, I may have been in the background of one of the newscasts because there were news crews from 6 or 7 different news agencies there. And the local one, WMUR, both Caitlin and I were watching the news story on it, being like, oh, maybe, where we were standing, we may have been on it. It'd be kind of cool to be like, hey, there's us. And I'm going to have to send you the video, but for like 20 seconds of a 1-minute segment, most of the camera shots, the cameras were shooting people looking through their phones. I'm like,
or shooting themselves on their phones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. I didn't notice anyone like doing the whole live stream, like, "Hey, it's your girl. Look where we are." It was literally just people just recording the screen, like,
Yeah.
and that was what the news segment was picking up, was just people looking at and through their phones.
Well, there's a larger conversation to be had here, in so much as, a car accident happens in a crowded intersection and people rip out their phones to start recording instinctually before they run
Rubbernecking.
to the accident scene, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Bystanders
why
are more likely to start recording something awful happening than, breaking up the person being assaulted in front of the group
World
of
Star.
people. Yeah, there you go.
Where's your World Star drop?
I'm not sure if we're allowed to play what's usually said around World Star.
I mean, you could just play the World Star.
You're right.
But yeah, so that's my old man shaking a fist at the cloud. But
Well, it bums me out. You're not really bothering me because God knows I can probably see over you anyway, and I'm worried about people behind me being able to see. But if they're all staring at their phones, I don't care anyway. But it's just like it does my head in as a, I don't know, ADHD weirdo or whatever it is, that like you spent money to be here, or like watching somebody sit on their phone through the entirety of a ball game is weird to me too. But that's what it is. I don't know. It's just where we're at now.
Yeah, but we're going to say that if you go to a concert, if you go to any type of event like this, and you spend more time watching the event through your iPad, through your iPhone, through any piece of technology, you're a chump. And this week, these people from the Krista McAuliffe Planetarium, you guys are my chump of the week.
And you are my chump of the week.
Chumps. Well, you should mention the chumps with the phone in hand were your chumps,
Yes.
not the nice people who work at the planetarium.
No, especially not the Canadian consulate, who are the people that actually sponsored the event. So I got to get my motherland's Canadian flag and some nice maple candy and a pencil.
The Canadian consulate sponsored the New Hampshire planetarium viewing party for the NASA mission launch.
The NASA mission launch that has a Canadian astronaut on it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I would assume that it's a collaborative. Also,
the French-Canadian New Hampshire? Yeah, it's not too far out of the realm of possibility.
I'm familiar with what astronauts are going where at any given time. I barely was aware of the fact there was a launch until it happened.
You got to pay attention to this stuff, man.
This is true.
But I will say...
I will get revenge on you.
I will say that I was able to get some nice snacks while we were there. They had some, I guess, space-themed snacks.
Well, they got good fiddles at the planetarium?
Yeah. They brought in some moon pies, which I hadn't had in forever.
Well, hold that thought, because I want to hear all about it. But guess what time it is? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. See everybody in a minute.
Oh, look, it's Ned's commercial.
Right now, at Detroit Optical Glasses, we have Hunky Specs. But be warned, Hunky Specs will make you feel like grooving.
Hunky Specs, gonna get you grooving.
Freeze! Sorry, officers. Can't breathe. I gotta dance. He's resisting. Stop! Resisting!
Hunky Specs will make you feel like grooving, only at DOG. Presented by Grambling Advertising.
And we're back. Do you ever stand over the toilet and hold your breath and actually push really hard to try and make the pee come out faster, but then you run out of breath and you're still peeing and then you're just like, ah! Does that ever happen to you?
Can't say that I've ever experienced that.
No? Oh.
No.
Guess me neither.
You're going to have to leave that in.
So I want to hear all about the food at the shuttle place. Planetarium.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of food, but they just brought in some different flavored moon pies, which are like a marshmallow centered with a soft cookie outside covered in flavor.
That's
Like
kind of
a-
like a what are the cookies in a moon pie? They're not like an oatmeal cream pie cookie.
Yeah,
are they?
exactly. They're
Oh,
like
they are?
a no.
No.
They're like oh gosh. A soft cookie, basically. I can't the guy that made a
I was
living
gonna
selling
say
cookies
for
can't
the
think of.
cookie man, your cookie vocabulary seems kind of poor
Dude,
right now,
I told you,
pal.
I'm this is my flu
You're
game.
hurting. You're
with my-
hurting. It's all right.
My brain's already bad enough as it is. Adding a headache on top of it's not helping matters. But it's just it's a soft, almost like a cake-like cookie.
Yeah.
And it's covered in like a frosting, like a hard frosting kind of. They had chocolate, vanilla, salted caramel, blueberry, and banana ones.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's- you know that banana's my jam.
Oh yeah, I grabbed a banana and a vanilla. The vanilla was meh. The banana was really good. And then they had cheese balls, obviously, because the moon is made of cheese. And yeah, I got myself a freeze-dried ice cream bar, which brought me back to being 7 years old and touring the planetarium. And
Yep.
people are very one way or the other on that freeze-dried ice cream. I loved it. I thought it was so good. I mean,
I don't understand it, and I never will. Fair enough.
which is fine.
Yeah.
You either, like I said, you either like it or you don't, and it does it for me.
There's a weird thing, and good on them for, I guess, spotting a gap in the market. But at conventions, game conventions lately, pinball, gaming, retro, whatever, I've spotted these guys that are selling freeze-dried snacks, and it's like freeze-dried this candy or
Oh yeah, that's a
freeze-dried.
huge fad. Freeze-dried
Yeah,
candy.
is that taken off big time?
Oh yeah, that is a huge market from everything I've seen from, the markets and stuff that I've done for the 5 years or so I ran my business and stuff. It became, I don't know if it's dying off now, but it got huge by the time that I shut my business down.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the same, I think, probably similar reference point that you have to it. When I was a kid growing up in Baltimore, anytime people from out of town would visit, we'd generally take them to the Smithsonian because it's 90 minutes away from Baltimore, and it's the Smithsonian. So you go to Air and Space Museum, and of course, outside the planetarium, in the gift shop, freeze-dried ice cream bars. And anytime we went there for a field trip or a visit or whatever, whoever we were with would always buy it because they wanted to try the novelty of the freeze-dried ice cream bar, and they break it up and generally hand me a piece. And all I remember is, yeah, it tastes exactly right, but it just kind of...
Well, it's like
Not-
styrofoam.
Yeah, styrofoam's the right word, but it doesn't totally dissolve and break down like cotton candy or something
No.
does. So it's kind of a weird textural thing. That I'm remembering it, but as it is just the freeze-dried ingredients, the flavor is exactly on point. Am I remembering 30
Yeah,
years ago correctly?
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. I mean, I got a Neapolitan ice cream, so it was the vanilla,
Yep.
chocolate, and strawberry with the chocolate cookie ice cream sandwich wafer or whatever.
Oh, it's the
And-
straight up like freeze-dried school cafeteria ice cream sandwich. That's
Yeah.
the wrapped in paper one. I
Yep,
could definitely see the tricolor flavor.
Yep.
Version.
And they had that one. I think they had a mint chocolate one, and then they had those might have been the only two flavors that they had there that day. But yeah, I don't know. It brought back memories of being a kid, and I enjoyed them as a kid. And I don't know. It was good. I wouldn't spend $6 again on them. I'm sure if I bought them somewhere else instead of from a planetarium, they would have been a lot cheaper
well, that
than
was-
$6.
Yeah, that was my question. So, with this being a trend, obviously, if next week Aldi's carrying freeze-dried ice cream or candy or other things in the snack section, are you grabbing it?
If it's cheap,
So it is something that you would, outside of being at an event and it's the fun novelty of the event, you would actually like snack on freeze-dried things, you think?
I
I
would
guess
probably
that's my
take them.
question.
I would probably take them with me in the van on a camping trip.
Well, I could definitely see as having it
No,
I mean,
to answer your question directly, no, it's probably not something I'm going to stock 12 of them in my cabinet and have my nightly
Right.
freeze-dried ice cream sandwich. But it has definitely has their use, and it
Yeah.
isn't something that I would only eat just at the planetarium. I could see it being a once every few months being like, oh man, I'd really like to have one of these. But camping, 100%. Now that we're talking about that, I might see if I can find a 6-pack or something and just keep them packed in my van for.
Well, yeah, it's not like
trips.
they're going to go bad.
No.
Yeah.
But it looks like
Milk was a bad choice.
you love your drops. How many did you download? How many did you download today?
I mean, it's in the dozens.
Jeez.
You know what would be really good, though, that I'm thinking of now, is you take the freeze-dried ice cream sandwich and crumble it up on top of real ice cream.
Yeah, or even crumble it up and put it in some milk and turn it into cereal.
That would work. Ooh, that would be good, too. So there's our $1 million idea that we're just going to share with the audience. Freeze-dried ice cream sandwich cereal bites. Yes. Let's get to work in the lab.
I gotta make my my homemade cookie crisp again. I did that once, and
did you just bake a shitload of really tiny cookies?
Yeah, little like let's see what size is my finger right now? Maybe like little nickel-sized cookies.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, they were so good, so stupid, so much work, but so good.
And what would a bowl of your cookie crisp generally clock in at calorically, would you say?
I don't want to even guess on that. I mean, realistically, with nickel-sized cookies, if you had like a serving, like what would be considered an actual serving size of cereal, it's still going to be higher than like Cookie Crisp, but you're probably looking at 650, 700 calories.
I'd appreciate it if you pronounce the name of the cereal correctly.
I'm not going. Where's your Cookie Crisp drop?
But you just did. Thank you.
I hate you. So that was, I think, a good hour-long intro. We wanted to be out of here in about an hour today. I do not think that's going to happen. So we
got assignments?
We got assignments, but we also I do want to talk about the thing that we've been following since I made you read the books, and we finally got confirmation that a Dungeon Crawler Carl TV show is actually in development. I know we had talked about this before, but it was kind of like well-known rumors and nothing official. But this past week...
Well, go ahead. It is official now, I guess.
Yeah, the past week, it got picked up by Universal, and it's going to be made for Peacock by Seth MacFarlane's Fuzzy Door, I think is what he calls his
production company.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amusing that he basically did everything with Fox, and now he's doing everything he can to get away from them.
Well, I mean, Fox has ruined almost every single TV show that they have ever had their hand on, so.
Fair to say. Yeah, so not a whole lot of new news, but, it's real now. It's going to be a streaming series on Peacock, which... It's
going to be live action.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I guess it'll depend on budget, because it's a lot to get done. But what else do you do without greenlighting like an 8-movie anthology series with $100 million budgets or whatever? So, I don't know. I have high hopes. I love Ted.
Well, you said you weren't, at least when you started the second season, it sounded like you weren't as high on the second season as you were on the first.
I was not.
Did that change?
I had mixed feelings about the second season. A couple of the episodes were brilliant. The Dungeons and Dragons episode, if you haven't watched that, you have to watch
I still haven't watched the second season at all.
Just absolutely wonderful. They really leaned into a lot, like the crass, like sex humor, like overtly a lot into the second season, where, I don't know, it was kind of weird. It was still funny and still good, but it felt a little forced at times.
That's my main problem with some of Seth MacFarlane's stuff. Like, I think he does a lot of good work, but sometimes, he just goes really hard into the toilet humor sounds wrong, but just like the crass humor that it's like, come on, like, dude, I've seen you, like the Orville, like you can do really good crap.
Yeah, I know
like,
you're incredibly smart. Yeah. But what it got me thinking about is, I think we both agree, and I hope this will not be the case, that Seth MacFarlane should not star as Carl.
I really hope not. Yeah, I'm fine with him creating and doing whatever he wants to with the show, but I don't want it. He's not Carl.
Yeah, well, he's also in his, mid to late 50s at this point.
Yeah.
And the character is, mid to late 20s?
Yeah, I was say Carl, I believe, is like late 20s.
Just got out of the Coast Guard, right? So
recently, yeah.
Yeah. It's... I don't know who you cast. Because, okay, it's an anthology streaming series now. It's not a movie, so there's a certain level of person that you're not going to get. You could go so many different ways with Carl, and I was reading around on Reddit threads and stuff, and people have some great suggestions, but I don't know who it could even be. A lot of people are like, "Oh, John Bernthal would be great." No, absolutely not. But then I read other things that John C. Reilly would be hilarious. Well, I agree with that, but he's also maybe not the character and a little too old. I saw somebody say Taron Egerton, which makes some sense in my head.
I want to see somebody I don't know.
And that was going to be my question to you. Would you rather just see an unknown cast in this role because you've already created so much of a vision in your head from reading the books or what have you? Or is there a person that you really would like to see?
If I was smart, I would have spent more time thinking about an answer to this question. My gut is there's no one that I'm like, oh yeah, I would love to see this person play Carl. I would rather it just be a young actor that I don't know. There's someone that can make it their own, I guess. Because if you take a known actor, especially a known action actor, they're going to turn Carl into them. They're not gonna, be the character.
Oh, and I mean, there were other things. I'm looking at a list now. Kumail Nanjiani. Don't see that at all. It would just turn the character into Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he does kind of play a version of himself in most things. Pedro Pascal. I mean, the guy's overexposed enough, but again,
he is 100% not
the character. Yeah, so I don't really understand some of
it
these.
Needs to be somebody.
Nicholas Hoult, that could be interesting at least, maybe, but I don't see that either. So it's weird. I can't say that would be a good Carl.
I think it should be DK Metcalf.
Okay, I could be into that.
Just a giant dude, because Carl is supposedly a super just kind of dumb built guy, and then as he moves on, he becomes more and more just jacked. You needed a force. Who's that guy that is playing, I think, Zangief in the new Street Fighter movie? That 7 foot tall massive dude.
Oh,
make
I
it
have
him.
No idea. The bad podcaster guy is playing Dan. That's all I know about that. That stupid movie.
God, what's the guy's name? Whatever. I'm not going to find it because apparently looking for Zangief actor is not giving me what I wanted to. But yeah, the guy's 7'2". He is an absolute beast, which is too big, honestly, to play Carl. Because I think Carl's supposed to be 6'3", 6'4". But again, you don't need someone. You could have. It's going to be Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is going to end up being Carl.
70-year-old Tom Cruise. I could be Carl. Am I too old to be Carl?
You're probably a little too old. Do you think you could play mid-20s?
I could play it, yeah, but I'm too tall. I should mention that. So I'd have to. They'd have to CGI
act on
me
your
down
knees.
a couple inches to be right for the character. They'd have to delift me.
I could probably play Mordecai.
A rat person?
Yeah.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going to touch it.
Do it. Do it.
No, I really don't have one. Nor a drop.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this being done. I really hope it gets done the right way. I know I've said multiple times about The Count of Monte Cristo being my favorite book that I've ever seen, which has made me, or ever read rather, which has made it so I will never watch any film or TV adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo because that book is what I've read. And
the favorite book you've never seen would be the way to say it.
Actually, yeah. So Dungeon Crawler Carl is probably the series itself is I don't want to go out and say it's my favorite series that I've read because there's obviously a recency bias there. But I mean, it really has got its, hooks into me. And I would definitely love to watch a TV series of it, but I so
Were you on
badly
like
want it to be done right.
seventh book now?
I'm done. I'm waiting for book 8 to come out in May.
Oh, no kid. I'm like 3/4 of the way through book 2. So yeah, go me.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're enjoying it, if you're not getting through it fast because it's a slog to read, then I'd say give up on it. But if it's just because you're taking your time to read it, it doesn't
Oh, it's
matter.
absolutely not a slog, but I did decide like yesterday that I was like, okay, we just had a huge Easter brunch and a nap's probably in my future, so let me lay down on the couch with this book and I'm gonna take out a nice chunk of this afternoon. And as I do that, the dog comes and sticks his nose in between me and the book and demands my attention. And then as I'm petting the dog, you see, a 9-year-old comes running around the corner with an elbow drop and goes, "Ahua!" And now I'm wrestling with a 9-year-old while the dog's licking my face because I'm not petting him anymore. And any thoughts that I had of reading have now gone out the window entirely. So ask me why I read on the toilet.
Why do you read on the toilet? Yeah, I will say you and I do have different lifestyles in that sense where I'm pretty much left to my own devices 100% of the time. So when I have time to do stuff, I can fully dedicate myself to doing it.
You're probably going to have a hammock this summer, and you're going to be able to go lay in a hammock and read, aren't you?
Dude, I have a hammock. We have 2 hammocks. We put hammocks out every summer. I've got a hammock right now sitting on the balcony off of my bedroom, so I can just literally walk out of my bedroom and take in the beautiful surroundings I have.
And of all the drops that I got today, I did not get the Simpsons hammock ones. Damn
Why
me.
not? Did you grab the trampoline one? I'll mention a trampoline if you can play that.
No,
Ah.
no. That's its own well to dive, man. It's really hard when you're just like faced with the entirety of the internet to say, what's a movie that has stuff that I think is funny in it that I should look up for stuff to download from? It's a lot of pressure.
It's true. I don't know how you do it, man. All right, I think in the interest of moving things along and getting us out of here, it is time for Backlog Buster Brothers.
Yay!
Nicholas,
Yes, sirs.
we had the same assignment this week, but I believe you wanted to give us a nice little update of your continued run of Cult of the Lamb.
Oh yeah, I'm on day 90 something. Best game ever. I'm obsessed with it. I keep spending too many days hanging around the cult and just like dicking around on my farm instead of going on runs like I'm supposed to. And then I realized that at one point I was running a dungeon that was way out of my league, and I shouldn't have been doing that, and so I lost quite a number of followers during that. So it's hard times for Nick's cult. The good news is that I just unlocked Sin and Original Sin in my members, and I've been growing shitloads of grapes and hops, but I haven't given them the ability to brew alcohol yet, but I'm really looking forward to how that works out. Let's see, what else? I killed a few more dissenters, but I've stopped feeding them to my followers because it makes their faith go down, and they realized it was human meat that they were eating. I don't know. I got two more spider runs to go in that level, and then I think I unlock whatever's behind the big door, which I know you know, but
Yeah.
I don't
know,
what
but
else
have
I
completely
should be
forgotten.
doing. Well, okay, yeah, fair enough. There's so many options of things that I can do that I kind of it's not choice paralysis, but I don't even know where to concentrate now, and that's kind of part of the fun of it, honestly. As soon as I finish one thing, there's another follower complaining that I haven't built a monument to myself, which I'm only too happy to oblige, of course. What a cool game, man. I hope they make more of these. I'm having so much fun with it. And thank you to Wyatt for purchasing it for me. Best assignment ever.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited that you're enjoying it as much as you are. I remember really liking it when it first came out, which at this point was probably 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh, you know
And
what's interesting is that it's I found it to actually run well on the Switch now because there was like a super high def mode that they added, I guess, via patch that made the loading screens impossibly long, and you could switch back to like original mode, and now it runs like a dream. So obviously there's been some continued development, but I was gonna say I don't know where you originally played it.
I believe I played it on Xbox.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so there was no issues.
You didn't
with
have those
any of that there.
limitations. Yeah.
No. So we both had the same assignment this week, which was the Steam/Switch/ anywhere you can find it game Basketball Classics.
Yeah.
I
Do you want
believe
me
we
to go
both
first
picked
on
this
this
up
one?
during the Steam sale.
Yeah, it was only a couple bucks. If
Yeah, I think it
memory
was $2 or
serves.
$3 maybe.
There's no way I wasn't gonna buy it.
But yeah, let's hear what you think, and maybe I can play off of your thoughts.
Yeah. So first of all, fun game, great sense of humor. Whoever the dev is nailed the tone. They really, really push it about as far as anyone could with used likenesses without using likenesses, basically. So I think we discussed it last week that all the rosters are pretty much there, but they just don't use player names.
Yeah.
So if you want to play, a famous NBA team from history, chances are it's in there, but it's just in there as the 95 Bulls versus
And you
whatever
will
else.
know because all of the players look exactly like the players
Exactly like their
in
real
the
club
Basketball
counterparts.
Classics like styling.
Yeah. But then there's also like these cutscenes where they'll
So good. The
very
cutscenes are
obviously
so
be
good.
yeah, so good, so funny. But all of the characters in the cutscenes just have blank mannequin head faces.
Yep.
But the art style and art direction is such that you can tell exactly who it's supposed to be. So at halftime, they'll break to the commentator desk, and it's clearly the TNT basketball team with Charles Barkley sitting there right in his regular seat.
Yep. Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Shaq.
Yeah. So I thought all of that was just absolutely masterful. If you can remember any of the other people, I'm blanking
Oh,
on
don't
it
forget
right now.
that Prince plays the halftime show.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
and when you hit halftime and there's just a blank faced, purple lace dressed cymbal guitar having, definitely not Prince, but
Yep. There's Prince, I believe Run DMC comes out a couple times
Yeah.
during halftime.
It would be fair to say that they're not flouting likeness rights or copyright law, but they're pushing
they're as
it
close as they
probably-
can get.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what first attracted me to this game was if you look at the graphical style, especially with some of the up close animations that happen when you do things like dunk. Anybody that's familiar with the NES game Double Dribble will say this looks like Double Dribble. Where I kind of wished it had a little more was the main gameplay is almost like a retro nod to like Atari age basketball versus Nintendo age basketball. And I don't know if I'm out of left field saying that, but I feel like the original Double Dribble.
The original Double Dragon was definitely different.
Yeah. The original Double Dribble probably had a little more graphical fidelity detail outside of the cutscenes. Is that fair to say?
No, it definitely did. The player models, aside from, as we had said, the likenesses, when you're passing to your different players or even the defense, you see their portraits playing. But the actual player models, are definitely more like 50, 200, 7800, maybe even 26 2600 level. But the actual like courts themselves, I'd say is pretty close to like Double Dribble graphics, but the players themselves are more Atari-esque.
Simple, yeah. And the cutscenes, especially like when you do a dunk, I love that they've kind of turned those into mini games too.
Yep.
Where if you're a defender and somebody's dunking on you, you kind of try and match where their hand is up in the air to try and block the ball. And they've incorporated a bunch of neat little things like that.
You got
but I
chase down
guess-
dunks.
Yeah, And they have like the shot meter when you're throwing a long three, so you have to
Yep.
release it at the right time, and it all feels really, really solid. If I had a complaint, it's just that kind of annoying stylistic issue that I think is mine, mine only. But apparently somebody heard me because they're now coming out with Super Basketball Classics, which I would assume is the SNES to this version's NES.
Yeah, did you see? I sent you the link to that. Did you actually see anything else about it? I saw something that was kind of interesting.
No,
with
I
it.
didn't see anything other than I think I was out with my son at the time and like looked down at your message on the phone and went, "Oh, cool, they're making that." If there was a link, I didn't follow it.
Yeah, I think I sent you the Steam link, but they've teamed up with the Harlem Globetrotters to make this version of the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be so awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so you got the Harlem Globetrotters, the Washington Generals are in the game. I'm not sure. I didn't really see much about the other, like the old school Chicago teams and things like that. I assume it's probably going to be the same.
Yeah.
This game's going to be it's going to be published by Acclaim, which I think is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
forgot
not
they're an
really-
operating entity again, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm very quickly looking at the Steam page now. Yeah, this style, and I will quickly copy this image and put it into our chat. But this is the style I think that you were hoping for. This is like a
Precisely.
late SNES style
Yep.
court, and the players
Precisely.
themselves. Yeah.
This is everything I want. So, I mean, the first game, great. Don't get me wrong. It's just kind of that that graphical annoyance. But this looks like next gen.
Yeah, so this looks like it's going to lean a lot more really just into the Harlem Globetrotters, their history and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is going to have the same amount of variety, I guess I would say, because Basketball Classics itself, I think it had almost 200 teams in the game.
Wow.
Yeah, but starting from like the 1970s through 2020, they picked not every single season between there, but a lot of years in between there. They would take the top 8 teams in both the East and the West, and they would recreate those teams in the game. So there's an endless amount of customization. Plus, you could create your own team. Did you beat the story mode or?
No, I have not. I've just
All right,
been playing pickup games, and I think I played, I don't know, 4 times.
Yeah, I finished the game. So there's a story mode where you play 6 matches, and then you can do story mode plus, which I believe is 5 matches, and then maybe another 4 after that, and you play secret teams of. I'm not
that's
sure.
all very doable.
Yeah, no, it's very quick. I think I maybe spent 2.5 hours beating the entire game. But
I had a cult that was, they needed running.
You had a lot going on. I know. You played enough you got the gameplay down, you got to see it. I just figured, I really enjoyed the game. The graphical stylings didn't bother me really as much, really at all. I think it worked really well. The controls for what it was, you have 3 buttons that will steal, change character, shoot, block. Super simple, but there's enough depth in it. Every time you get the ball, you can either just run a full court offense, or if you run in one of 3 lanes as you're going in transition, you can either do a pick and roll, an isolation, or an off-ball pick and roll. And the amount of depth you can get out of doing that, I thought was really cool, especially for only a 3-button game.
For sure.
It's not going to be. It's not trying to be like an NBA 2K. It's not trying to be an NBA Live or even an NBA Jam. It's trying to be a retro 8-bit, 8/16-bit, just arcade-ish basketball game. And like I said, I've beaten it. I will probably go back and play some more, just here and there. I think your quarters can be anywhere from 1 minute each to 12 minutes each. So, I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room. You can play on, I think, 3 or 4 different courts. There's like a double dribble style court. There's a street court, a modern court, and maybe one other one. There's also a full season mode you can play, which maybe I'll start doing a season mode and just see how that goes along. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was fun seeing our friends Ian from the Extra Napkins podcast.
Oh, you unlocked that, did you?
Yeah. I
Nice.
believe his team was the final team you have to beat before you finally finish the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I was really excited when I had looked up, this after for whatever reason, because I was just curious to see if there'd been any more work done on it. Because I know this came out in 2020, I believe, and I wanted to see if there are any updates or if there's a mod community that created anything else. And that's when I stumbled upon seeing that Super Basketball Classics is supposed to be coming out, I think maybe by the end of the year. And I look forward to playing it. I want to see, especially them teaming up with the Harlem Globetrotters. There's going to be probably video packages, and I know this game is supposed to be, I guess, celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the Globetrotters, so it'll be really cool, I think, to see what they do with this.
Yeah, I didn't want to give the wrong impression that I didn't enjoy this game.
No, you was just the graphics.
The
didn't really sit
gameplay
with
is
you.
excellent. I think this would really shine Couch Versus.
Oh, absolutely.
Yelling at each other, that sort of thing. I think that's where you would really have a lot of fun. But I will definitely go in and do the story mode. I wanted to do that, but it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'll play a game of this, and so I can get back to playing Cult of the Lamb. But I did enjoy what I played for sure.
Yeah, I wholly recommend if you can. I believe the game is $10, not on sale. I think it's fine at $10, but I'm gonna guess this is one of those games that goes on sale fairly often, and it seems like when it does go on sale, it's for $2 or $3. So I'd say if you wanted to try it out, you're not gonna go wrong spending $10. But
yeah,
I would just add it to a wish list. Wait for it the next time for it to come on sale. And it's a game you're going to get a lot of play out of. And as Nick said, this is a game where if you can find a buddy and do some sit-down couch co-op with it, I think you're going to have a ton of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so
with
Nick,
that, it's time for new assignments, I do believe.
And I'm going to say you should give me an assignment because I still got to find an assignment for you.
Ah, okay, cool. So, coming off our theme of documentary viewing, I'm assigning you something that I don't believe you've seen and that honestly I was unable to finish. But
This is an
perhaps,
endorsement.
yeah, perhaps I will make an effort to finish it this week in a move of solidarity with you. And you are going to be watching the 2025 documentary Corey Feldman versus the World.
I so badly do not want to watch this, but for the podcast, I will. Yeah.
So for anybody that's not familiar, Corey Feldman is a famous actor from the 1980s and is currently something of a musician. Perhaps only in his own mind. This movie chronicles him, I'll read this here, embarking on a surreal rock tour with lingerie-clad angels facing disastrous events that compel him to confront Hollywood abuse allegations and personal secrets. If you want to talk about a person with a lack of self-awareness, holy shit, we're in for a ride. The main reason I'm watching or making you watch it is because I feel somebody else should have to, and there's a whole lot of stuff for us to talk about in here, and I think it'd be fun for us to unpack it on the show.
I so badly do not want to watch this.
It opens up with his wedding ceremony, and
God.
I'll leave it at that. It's wonderful.
This is worse than the David Arquette documentary, isn't it?
Oh God, David Arquette is like the least douchey man on the face of the planet in comparison to Corey Feldman. David Arquette is a well of self-reflection and awareness compared to Corey Feldman.
Oh my God! All right, I'm super excited to to watch this, and
You're welcome.
I think I'm gonna be nice because that's just our relationship here. You're the asshole and I'm the nice one, so. I'm going to give you a documentary. I was going to give you a game this week, but I want you to watch this documentary because I want an excuse to watch it again.
Fair.
And this is a 2015 documentary. You'll be very familiar with the subject matter as we've been doing a lot of it lately. I want you to watch the documentary Fastball.
Okay, I can say, I think matter-of-factly that I have not seen this.
Probably not, but it's everyone's favorite narrator, Kevin Costner, who loves baseball, so he's
That he
involved
do.
in a lot of baseball stuff. It's essentially about the history of the fastball and trying to find who the hardest throwing pitcher of all time was, looking back from, the 1910s through today, looking at the different ways that they measured fastball velocity and how it was different before. So while, people would say, oh yeah, they were measuring fastballs back in the 1920s and it was clocking in at 80 miles per hour, those guys are just throwing cookies.
Mhm.
Well, the way that they were recording speed back then, they recorded it at a different point. So it may not have been. So it's doing the math between that, and there's a bunch of legends. Bob Gibson's spoken to in it, Nolan Ryan, Derek Jeter, Hank Aaron.
Derek Jeter is not a legend. He is a bum.
I mean, I'm not going to argue. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't like the guy, but what was it? The play that we saw the other night, or maybe you hadn't seen it. Joe Adele.
The stolen home run.
Yeah, the 3 stolen home runs.
Yeah, incredible.
The third saving the game with the game essentially on the line. The Angels were up 1-0 in the top of the ninth. I had said that catch by Joe Adele was better than the Derek Jeter catch diving into the stands, and I still stand by that.
I believe it.
I remember watching this movie when it first came out, and I thought it was awesome. The science behind baseball, seeing all these different players, seeing who, the person who's considered to maybe be, have thrown the fastest pitch of all time may not necessarily be who we think it is. And yeah, I like you, so I'm giving you something fun and nice to watch, and I'm not making you watch Corey Feldman.
Well, I hate Kevin Costner, but he's just the narrator, so that's fine.
Well, you hate Kevin Costner because he slept with Cal Ripken Jr.'s wife.
No, I just think he's a douche nozzle, that's all.
Well, good. Then I'm glad I'm giving you something that you don't want to watch.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. It contains Derek Jeter, too, so...
Yeah, but also has Hank Aaron.
This looks cool. I'm actually I'm super interested in this. And, I like anything that takes something that people don't always think about much and then breaks it down to the minutia, as it were. Now, is this related to Knuckleball, which came out, it looks like, a couple years later?
I think Knuckleball actually came out a few years earlier.
Excuse me.
It's not related, but that would probably be another one that I may have you watch at some point.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's not related at all. It just happened to be on
It's related because they're both pitch names.
Yeah. I didn't know. And maybe it was a sequel,
Yeah,
right.
maybe.
Keeping it in baseball, though. Love that. Thank you.
Yeah, I know we had someone that left us a review that was like, no, they talk a lot about baseball. I guess that's kind of a game. And you know what? I'm sorry, but I love baseball. And
it's America's game!
Exactly. It'll probably be talked about for the next 6 months. Yep. So get used to it.
Deal with it.
What's up with the vanilla face?
Exactly.
How we do.
All right, Nick, I think we did a good job of doing another hour and a half like we always do. And why don't we say goodbye to our friends and call it a day?
Subscribe, like, do all that crap, leave a comment, tell your friends, remind your mom to listen, your spouse, your pets, anybody in between. And if you'd like to hear anything on the show or are sick of hearing anything, reach out and let us know. But otherwise, until then, I am Nick.
I'm Wyatt.
And we don't have it yet. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.